Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Charity, and today I'm going to teach you guys a different way to use your enduring eyeliner pencils. Now, these guys were in the sale that was not too long ago, so some of you may have picked up some of our dual-ended liner pencils, which they are so great because they're super versatile. I'm going to show you how I did this brow super naturally. It's so natural that it's kind of my new way I've been doing brows. So normally I use the brow pencils from LimeLife, and they are great. I find when you're maybe in a little bit of a rush, maybe it might take a few minutes longer, especially if you're missing a lot of hairs in your eyebrows. They will work in the case of this as well. They're just going to be more of an accent piece rather than the main show, if that makes sense. So let's just jump into it. Let's show you how I did it. And the first thing is you want to make sure that you prep your brows properly, because I find products just go on a little bit better that way. So I'm going to take a little cotton round, whatever you want to call it, round piece of cotton. I usually take off any of the foundation and oils that might be left over from doing my makeup. Often I do this at the beginning, and so if you did do it at the beginning, it's still good to take off the oils. So take some first base priming spray, just spray a piece of cotton, clean up the brow, just like that. That way, just trust me, you'll get a better bulletproof brow this way. So take this, brush it in place, kind of just see where you have the missing gaps. This guy is a little bit crunkled. I don't know, is that a word? It feels like the right word. You know that emoji that kind of has, I'm just gonna show you. Yeah, that one. I kind of feel like my brow is that. So make sure you have an angled brush, because this is essential. The slimmer, the better in terms of how sharp it is. This is LimeLife's dual-ended brow and liner brush. Okay, so you probably didn't realize that you could do this because you probably thought your brows are either, so especially if you have lighter brows, these might be too dark, okay? But you've got this wonderful nude end that a lot of people don't know what to do with. So this is where it comes into play as being really awesome. So just take the brush and you're going to go into, now practice some night when it doesn't matter, and then try it again a few more times to be sure you're really sure, and then put it into your routine practice. But for me, about one swipe on here or two, and two on here seems to be about right. And then you have about 15 seconds to use that before it starts to dry. And so really, you just follow your brows. Like, there's not a lot to it, but people just don't know about this, which is why I'm gonna do it. Just because I think that sometimes the versatility of the products is what makes them so great. When you have professional products, you are just, I've said this in many videos, but the skies are the limit. You really just have to use your imagination, and even better if you understand how products work, and someone might just spend a lot of time doing that. I'm gonna make it useful though. This is my goal, because like I need to use this, all this crazy reading and stuff that I do. Actually, when it comes to makeup, it's just spending a lot of time doing it. So at the end, I go in with just the darker, because that's where I'm missing a lot of hair. So I just kind of go through it like this. Now, if the color is a bit off for you, you can always take and add a little bit of the other one. And now say it's too warm, you can actually use this end. So one black and one of the nude color, and you get quite an ashy tone. Hopefully you knew to get more than just one because the sale was so good, so that you could do that. So sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, my brow just needs a bit more toning. Because I find brows are just not all the same color all the way through. Actually, yeah, I mix all three. Why not, right? And so there's areas where you kind of need just a little bit of a different shade. And this really gives you that opportunity. You can basically it's just like color theory. You're just mixing colors till you find the perfect match for you. I've spent a little bit more time doing this than I probably would if I was on my own, just because I like chatting with you guys. So just make sure you put your lids back on your pencils because you will regret it. They will dry out. And I think I said this in another video, but the Revlon Universal Points is the best one for LimeLife pencils. It just has to be really sharp, and this guy is really sharp. So once you're done, if there's anything that needs extra toning or extra something, or if you just can't get a certain spot like this guy right here, you can take your pencil, assuming you probably have it kicking around. They do have their place in this, and you can kind of just gently fill in any little spots that for some reason, if you put too much pressure on that brush, they're gonna make really intense brows. The point is to be quite natural with it. Now, if you do anything that seems a little heavy in one spot, just take your spoolie and kind of scrape through it wherever you see the little extra thicker product, and that will just kind of scrape it out. Now at this point, you can actually even brush your brows down a little bit like this and into place, and if there's anything that's really long, you just want to take a little scissor and you can kind of clip those hairs. Alternatively, I forgot to mention, you can take a little bit of eyeshadow. So Taupe for the Best is kind of a perfect shade for this, or Ashen for Trouble. So this guy right here, super ashy, kind of a light tone. So if you take your brush, and generally if you do it before your brows are kind of fully set, it will just set the powder right into the gel, and then it just lasts a really long time, like a really long time compared to if you did your brows with just powder, which some people like a really powdery brow and they love the softness of it. So, but as we know, powder just sometimes doesn't last as long as we'd want it to. So this is kind of a great way to make that last a tiny bit longer. Or maybe you have red tones in your hair or something that you're trying to emulate, and you know that they don't really make brow products that fit for you. This is gonna be a great way to kind of manipulate and make things your own. So the only thing I do when I'm done is sometimes if I had to really rub some product off, I will take a tiny bit of, just a tiny bit of concealer in my facial shade, and then I will just top that up. Now, if your eyeshadow has not been done and you want to do like brow lifting moves and things like that, this is a perfect time. And then just make sure your finishing moves are to take a little bit of either clear brow gel, which is what I use because I don't really need much more texture than this. You can brush them into place so that they just kind of stay where you want them to, and they kind of get a natural effect to them. I kind of brush up and then down. You kind of want to go in the direction of the hairs if you're trying to be really natural about it. Last but not least, your Oil Strike Makeup Finishing Spray or Time Setter. I usually only do one because it's at the end, and I don't need to like mold my face on like that, you know, because sometimes you put too much setter spray on and you're like, woo. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something exciting about your enduring eyeliner pencils from LimeLife. And if you did like that, let me know by liking it or commenting, and I will be sure to throw up more tips like this because I've got a bank right full of them. So I appreciate you guys. We will see you in the next video.